Hello, this is Andrine, a Jewish American priestess, and we're coming to you very early in the month of Kislev. Kislev is the new moon of dreaming. So we're going to do a reading today about dreams. The dreams that are coming up right now for you, either in your sleep or also could be the dreams that are your waking dreams. What are the things that you're wishing and hoping and aspiring for? The word Kislev comes from an ancient word Kisel, which means hope. And when I was looking for what oracles I would use today, I was looking at my shelf of cards and such, and I came across this oracle, which is called DreamTime Reading Cards. So it's a set of cards by an artist who lives in Australia, and it's based on Aboriginal spirits. And I'll list that in the description box below. So what we're going to do today is we're going to pull out, well, let's see, 2 cards, and we're going to do 2 readings. You get to choose which reading is resonant for you based on the card, and it will be listed below with a timestamp. It'll take you directly to your reading. Very large cards, so hard for me to shuffle. Let's see, which 2 cards want to come out today? Well, that one, clearly. And let's see, number 2. There it is. All right, let's take a look and see which cards are leading us into our dream time today. This one is called Mullet, and it says at the bottom, community. That's choice number 1. And choice number 2, lightning, change. Nice. Okay, so take a moment. I'm going to zoom in a little bit so you can see these a little better. And decide which of these 2 cards has a message for you today about dreaming. Either what you're dreaming in your sleep or what you're dreaming in your waking time. And I will put the timestamps down below, and then we'll do some Hebrew and Nordic Rune readings to see what's coming up for you in this month of dreaming. I'll see you in your reading. Hello, card number 1, and welcome to your reading. You chose the card that is number 24 in this deck, called Mullet, which is not about the haircut, but about the fish. So I'm going to take a minute. Let's take a look at your card really quick. It's this beautiful design, a circular design, and it says community at the bottom. So I'm going to take a minute to read from the booklet that comes with this deck about the mullet. It says, mullet is a fish of coastal waters and estuaries. Every year, the mullet gather in local river to form great circles in the water. These great circles contain hundreds of fish feeding and spawning. The mullet represents community, large gatherings, and celebrations. It reminds you that you are part of a community and that at times you will crave the company of others. It celebrates time spent with family, friends, and groups of like-minded people. Now would be a good time to plan a get-together with a group of people, perhaps host a gathering at your place or in your local community. The mullet also reminds you of the continuity of the seasons, of the times when you crave company of others, and of the times when you wish to retreat and spend time in quiet solace of your own. Because the mullet is a very resilient fish and quite plentiful, it is also associated with fertility and pregnancy and marriage. Any of those celebrations that involve growing together and sharing with one another. When the rings of the mullet show up, it's time to enjoy time with your soul family and to acknowledge your place in the wider community. Share meals, introduce yourself to your neighbors, and see if there's anywhere in your local area where you could volunteer your time or talents to help your community. I find that really interesting because right now in this time of year, we have the holiday of Thanksgiving that happens in the North Americas, and this very controversial because of the original people of the land being displaced, and the often seen as a celebration of the genocide of those people. However, people still get together and sometimes do community events in which they give back to the land. So maybe it's a time to do that, as well as come together with family and celebrate harvest and abundance. And we've got the Hanukkah holiday coming up in a few weeks, which celebrates our coming together to celebrate the Festival of Light at this time of year. So I'm going to pull out 3 Hebrunes on the right side and 3 Nordic runes on the left side to see if we can get some further illumination and messages for you about Mullet and community here. At the top of our reading, we have the letter Tav. In the center, I have the letter Bet. And at the bottom, we have the letter Kaf. On the Nordic rune side, at the top of our reading, we have the letter Gebo. In the center, we have the letter Manas. Oh, and at the bottom, we have the blank, the weird. Okay, interesting. So at the top of our reading, we have, on the Hebrew side, we have the letter Tav. And I love this because Tav is the letter that rules over the moon in the sky. And we just came into the new moon, so that's beautiful for me. The Tav is the last letter of the Hebrew alphabet. So it's about endings and beginnings. So the moon cycles, it goes through its darkness and then to its fullness and then back to its darkness again. And right now we're in the dark time of the moon, just as we're in the dark time of the year. So Tav is about endings, but they always represent new beginnings as well. So something is coming to an end perhaps for you right now, and it is re-beginning. It's renewing itself. The letter Tav is the last letter of the word Emet, which means truth. Emet consists of the first, center, and last letter of the alphabet. So something is coming to a finality with regards to truth. And the letter Tav is sort of like a stamp or a seal or a signature on something. So something is being sealed. Something is coming to an end. And again, represents a new beginning as we come in to the next iteration of the thing. And the moon in the sky. On the Nordic rune side, we have the letter Gebo. And Gebo is the letter that means exchange or gift. And so with regards to, say, for instance, Thanksgiving, that seems to be up this idea of exchanging and sharing, hospitality and blessings, coming together and giving to each other. In personal relationships, having another person, it could be about business as well, but with regards to community here, coming together and sharing as a community something, this exchange or gift that is coming, that is up right now. And maybe it's because something has come to an end, or because we're at this new moon time that something is being exchanged, that this gathering is coming to fruition right now. In the center, we have the letter that represents this position is the position of fear or challenge, and we have the letter Bet. Bet is representing a home or a house, and it can represent the world. It can represent the body. Where is it that we dwell? But it's our dwelling place in the world. So it's about home. So maybe there's something up right now with concern about coming home, going home, having people come into your home. There's a fear around that, understandably. It's particularly challenging for some folks with family of origin to come together as family. So take care of your home, take care of your own body. Be sure that you are putting things into it that is nourishing and not overwhelming. Bet also represents the mouth and the body. So be careful what you put in your mouth and also what comes out of your mouth. Be careful what you say. Be mindful, I would say, not careful, but mindful about what you say. And protect your home, protect your space, protect your own body right now. If there's fear or concern about that right now in your life, as you come together to gather with community. On the left side, we have the rune of Manas, and Manas is about humanity. It's about others in the world. So humanity and mankind coming together, being part. What's your part in the song of humanity? What is your role here? So it's not dissimilar to the idea of community, and there's a challenge around it. There's a difficulty with this, finding yourself amidst the community. Where do you land in that harmony with the world? So again, coming together with family of origin, or in a society that is challenged right now with finding like-minded people. That's the challenge or the fear right now. And our outcome in the Hebrew side is the letter Kaf. Kaf is about an exchange. It's interesting. It's got, we've got Gebo up here, but down here, this is about giving and receiving, the binary transformation of wealth and poverty. But it's also about power. Koach is the word that starts with Kaf. And it's said to be a palm of a hand, outstretched. So it can be about giving what is appropriate to give and receiving help or sustenance that's appropriate to receive, not trying to take on too much right now. The outcome, though, is power on some level and about exchange. It's about that balance between wealth and poverty, and not feeling oppressed, but being appropriately lifted up by the palm of Shekhinah and sheltered over by her hand. And Kaf is the letter that rules over the sun in the sky. So it's interesting that we start with the moon at the top, and then we go through, this is actually Shabbat. So we go through that day of rest, and then we come out into the sunshine. So I think that's beautiful for the idea of community. On the left side, on the Nordic rune side, we have the letter that is no letter, the blank. And sometimes it's called Wyrd, W-Y-R-D. And it's just being open. It's being open to possibilities, the infinite possibilities. So it's this idea of the Ein Sof, the that without end, just that potential for whatever is coming, and just really being open to it. So as we come into a place of exchange with others, finding our place, even if it's challenging, finding our place in humanity and in the community itself, and just being open to the possibilities of what might be. As something comes to an end and we're in this dark place of the night and the seal and the stamp, we need to take rest. We need to take care of our bodies, take care of our homes, take care of ourselves. And even if there's a fear, be careful what we put into our mouths and what comes out of our mouths. Take some rest. And maybe there's a challenge around getting enough rest as we're preparing for whatever community event that's coming up. When we come through that, we come to a place of personal power, of a place of giving and receiving adequately and appropriately, so that we're not overtaxing ourselves and we're not taking too much from others. And so as we come into community right now in this time of year, keep these things in mind, that we're exchanging appropriately. We're coming in through it into a place of bright light, into the light of the sun, into the light of the source energy, into the infinite. If we can find our place and take care of our bodies, things will work out well in community. So for those of you who chose Mullet and community today, this has been your reading. I wish you a beautiful first week of Kislev, and that you take note of your dreams and find your place in community right now as we go through this season of harvest. Thank you so much. We'll see you here next time. Hello, card number 2. Those of you who chose Lightning and Change. So this card is number 19 in this set. And I love that it's got these fingers of light that are coming down, and change is sometimes it, I don't know, sometimes it can be quite transformative very suddenly, like the tower card maybe in tarot. Let's read from the book, from the Dreamtime book, to see what it means in a spiritual sense from the Aboriginal people. on which this deck is based. It says Australia is a country of elemental extremes. We experience periods of drought and flooding. Often summer brings severe thunderstorms with magnificent flashes of lightning and quite often hail as well. These storms come with very little warning, seeming to spring from nowhere. Lightning, spectacular as it is, can also be deadly. In Australia's harsh climate, it often sparks bushfires that burn destructive through the undergrowth, devastating flora and fauna. Lightning represents change, the kind of sudden change that can easily catch you off guard. Lightning strikes with power and precision, and it can change everything it strikes in a second. It often symbolizes a change you didn't see coming. Lightning isn't always negative, though. It also provides flashes of inspiration and creativity as it lights up the storm clouds around it. It can offer clarity in the midst of a personal storm. Lightning asks you to use your own personal power wisely to ensure you direct your own energy where it is needed most, and to use the flashes of inspiration and creativity when they become available to create things of beauty and purpose. Power is not something you should use to harm another, inflict pain, or dominate those around you. Lightning asks you to be sure your motives come from a good and positive place. So now we're going to pull out 3 Hebrunes and 3 Nordic runes to further illuminate our card about lightning today. Let's do that. 3, 1 on the top, 1 in the center, and 1 on the bottom. And at the top we have the letter Kaf, which is great. In the center we have the letter Tsari. And on the bottom, we have the letter Mem. Nice. Okay, and on the Nordic rune side, at the top, we have Perthro. Nice. In the center, we have Soilo. And at the bottom, Lagos. Wow, that's really quite a mirror here. Okay, so on the Hebrew side, at the very top we have the letter Kaf. Kaf is the letter which spells the word koach, and so it's about power. It's all about power. It's a palm of a hand, but it can be an oppressive palm of the hand, like something is being oppressive and weighting down. Koach meaning power or strength. It's so interesting to me that lightning is represented here as what's going on right now for you with the Kaf. Kaf could be the palm or the hand of the Shekhinah who is lifting us up, or it can be the hand of the Shekhinah who is sheltering us from something that's oppressive. Keter begins with Kaf, which is crown. And so there's a lot of power here. And I know that the lightning card says change on it, but we talked about in the reading about how the change that occurs with the lightning is about very strong power that's coming in, either whether with a flash of insight or with a flash of destructive power. So the fact that we've got Kaf at the top here really resonates for me in terms of what kind of change is happening. It's a powerful change. It's coming possibly from your own inner power. Lightning has this transformative power that comes with the change that happens very suddenly. And then interestingly, on the other side, we have the Nordic rune of Perthro, and I actually threw it down upside down, so it usually looks like this. But I think that because the Kaf looks as a similar shape to it, I ended up putting it upside down. Or maybe it's just supposed to be upside down today. Perthro is about the lot box, that which is there and maybe unseen. And so because it's upside down in this case, it's about really secretive things that we haven't seen coming. And I love that with the lightning, with the change, that because it said in the booklet that we're talking about power that comes and transforms things very suddenly without us seeing it coming. So something is changing. Something is been hidden. It's been there all along. We just haven't seen it. and now it's coming to change things. And it's representative of a vessel or a cup, so it's something that's within this cup that is suddenly being spilled out or breaking forth like Pandora's box. So we've got these two at the top, power and the unknown, suddenly being revealed. And I love that with that lightning, that this Perthro surprise is just being revealed very suddenly. In the center of our reading on the Hebrew side, we have tzadi. Tzadi, this is the position of what's the challenge or the fear. And tzadi is the word that speaks to justice. It's tzadik and tzedek, righteousness, or a righteous person, and or justice. So something that we are afraid of or concerned about is that justice is not being served, that there's some kind of injustice that's happening right now, that perhaps we can't see the justice in the situation. This has come up a lot in the last few weeks, that there's a fear of injustice or a concern about justice being served appropriately. And that's valid, because when something comes as powerful as a lightning storm, and there's destruction that happens in particular, it's very difficult to see how is this going to play out in a way that makes sense or that's fair. And we don't always see it when it's coming. And that is for sure a challenge or a fear. On the Nordic rune side, we have the letter Sowilo. Sowilo is representative of source energy. It's the sun. So again, fear about something big and fiery and, possibly in all powerful in some ways. I mean, we have the sun in the sky. It's what keeps us alive, keeps the planet habitable. And it's usually about goodness and abundance. But it can also be oppressive. The letter Kaf rules over the sun in the sky. And we know that the sun, although it provides us with source energy and power, it can also burn if there's too much sun. And particularly, as we're talking about lightning here and fire, when things have dried out because of the sun in this hot summer, as it is right now, we're going into summer in Australia, there is this fear that things will dry out and lightning will strike and then fire will take over. So that makes sense that there would be fear around that there's this ultimate power that is our source energy that can also be destructive in the same way as lightning. And then wonderfully, on the outcome letter, we have the letter Mem, and the letter Mem is the mother letter of water. And you can see it looks a little bit like a womb, in that it's a container that has an opening at the bottom. And so it speaks to this idea of gestation and birth and transformation through water. So when we're talking about lightning and the power that comes with lightning, it often precedes rain. So we're in the wet season of the year. The Mem represents that wet season. And it is this mother letter that is nurturing and gestating us. It's that transformation through the amniotic fluid from which we are all born. So it's the ocean and it's rivers and it's rain and the wet seasons. And I love this, that we have got this power and we've got this concern, and then we come through to the water. The rains come after the lightning. And even if there is a fire, even if there is something that it's sparked, some kind of destruction, the rains will come eventually and wash that out and put out the fire. And that seems to be the promise here, is that we've got, even if we've got a fear about justice, even if we are seeing that power come in so suddenly, that the waters will come and soothe us. They will have this ability to transform through water once we've transformed through fire. And then, as if by magic, on the left side we have the Nordic rune of Lagos, which is also water. It is about flow. It's about emotions and water and renewal and energy and new life. So it's basically the same letter. I equate these two in my Hebrunes booklet, that Lagos is that melting of the waters, the flowing of the waters, that feeling comfortable and nourished by the waters. And this is the outcome on the other side. Similarly, we've got this surprising thing that's just appeared and surprised us and maybe alarmed us, that we have a fear about the heat and the destruction that may come from the dryness. But there's that water again, transforming and soothing and allowing that flow to reappear in our lives. So I think this is a beautiful reading, and I love that the mirror images are here within each of the rune sets. That we have power, that we have the unknown, that we have a fear about justice, a fear about our source energy, maybe not showing up for us or not being as nourishing as we'd like. That we have the outcome of water on both sides. That even when the fire comes, even if there is destruction, water will come in, the mother of all will come in and soothe us and bring us through to our transformation and change. For those of you who chose the card of lightning today, I'm wishing you a beautiful Kislev this month of dreaming. I hope that you're taking time to write down your dreams, either your sleeping dreams or your waking dreams, and find the change that's coming for you through this time. And I'll look forward to seeing you here next time.